Yo, 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 yo. I think I'm in a weird place right now with my social medias. I think that I'm going to be switching to Rumble as my main platform. Dude, it's doing so well, and it's so well organized. I like the way it's organized way better than I like any other platform. Hey, mate, really love your stream. Enjoy being part of your fan community. Yeah, that ain't happening. If you want to join my Discord, then you can check out the link. So Brandon Buckingham is back. Finally, dude, I've been waiting for this. Waiting for so long. Waiting so long. He almost died. And that would have sucked. He's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. Because he was like Andrew Callahan, but a million times better. Oh, come on. I gotta fix the audio. Every time, dude. Okay. That sucks.
On November 18th, 2025, I woke up in agonizing pain, with my feet swollen, unable to hear anything, and barely able to breathe. My wife called the police, and eventually an ambulance arrived and rushed me to the hospital. Upon my arrival, they told me that my lungs were filling with fluid, as my liver, kidney, and heart were all simultaneously failing. Doctors scrambled for answers as my family and I prayed to God that I would survive through the night. But how did I get to that point? And what causes a human to have so many health problems appear all at once? Well, let's rewind all the way back to June of 2025, when I was filming a documentary about Kia Boys in Detroit, and our car was shot up, with me sitting—
Dude, that was the last time I saw this dude. And then the very next time I saw him, he was dying.
In the front seat.
Yeah, you gotta see. Somebody just blew at us.
Oh, go.
Somebody blown at this bitch.
Someone shot at us. Yo.
What the fuck?
And this set off some pretty intense anxiety and insomnia that would linger with me for the rest of the year. The next video I filmed was at the Shambhala Electric Dance Music Festival, where I had—
Bro acts like he's never been shot at before.
What I would consider a mental breakdown of sorts. I'd never been to an EDM event before, and after days of camping on the floor and the bass slamming my head, preventing me from sleeping, I actually had to leave the festival altogether and stop filming. After Shambhala, I began these intermittent periods of vomiting and insomnia.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I think he caught a demon when he was over at Shambhala. That's a weird place. I almost went there, but like it's real weird.
Insomnia, where I wouldn't be able to sleep for days, and no matter what I ate, I couldn't keep anything down. You can see a big drop in my social media output after Shambhala towards the start of August. To cope with the decline of my physical and mental health,
Yeah, what all did he get? Hold on. Let's see. I didn't watch any of these. This is the one that I watched. So I missed that one, and then I watched this one.
Shambhala towards the start of August. To cope with the decline of my physical and mental health, I actually started training folk-style wrestling at Tarleton University in hopes of competing in the 2025-2026 season. I was committed to going back to college just to wrestle, and I even announced it on my Twitter. At many practices, I would begin vomiting and have to sit out due to the stomach sickness, mixed with sharp chest pain and the inability to catch my breath. In mid-August, I attended the annual gathering of the Juggalos, where I was feeling incredibly sick. And instead of bailing altogether, I tried to cope with how bad—
Yo, I saw that too, I'm pretty sure. Damn, it sucks he was going through all of that.
I was feeling and still film, which resulted in me being pretty off the rails the entire episode. 2 days after the gathering, I flew to Dublin, Ireland to film a multi-day video with Charles Carroll and Eric Hayden. At this time, my health was certainly deteriorating, as I was vomiting most days of this trip to the point where I couldn't even sip a beer without puking. While abroad, I made a post on my Patreon saying, Boys, my sincerest apologies at the lack of new content in the month of August. I am out sacrificing myself to the ether for your entertainment. I promise plenty of insane extended cuts lie ahead. I have been hustling every day for these videos. I fear I've totally fucked myself. I am not well in any regard and look forward to returning.
Yeah, dude, you gotta take care of yourself before you do all this, because what good are you doing to the world when you're dead? Like, we want you to be living so you can make better content. And you can't make better content if you're sick. Hopefully he's all good now.
Home to recover and edit
He
what
sounds
I've gotten.
good.
Also, today is my brother Kyle's birthday. He was supposed to be 40 this year. I am now 30, and I hope I don't wind up in an early grave like him. He was an incredible person who I deeply miss every day. God bless. So, undeniably, as early as August, I knew something was very wrong with me. I just did not know what it was at the time. And for those that are unaware, my big brother Kyle suffered from a massive heart attack on September 4th, 2019 that ended up taking his life.
Damn.
And ever since that day, I've worried about
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know when somebody just drops off somebody real close to you.
my own longevity and if I was going to die from a heart attack at 34 or if something was possibly wrong with me that I wasn't aware of. From Ireland, I flew directly to Las Vegas to film with Craig Jones for his jiu-jitsu event called CJI 2. I enjoyed my time with Craig and the boys, but something was definitely off with my health. I was having numbness in my hands and feet with intense anxiety, and the once or twice a day vomiting continued. After Vegas, I returned home and continued training wrestling, trying to get my health back in order. A few weeks later, Craig Jones invited me out to Culiacan, Mexico, to visit his Fair Fight charity jiu-jitsu gym, as well as film a potential video about the ongoing...
Like, was he not going to the doctor through all of this? Or was he, you know, went to the doctor and they were like, well, you're fucked.
cartel war in the Sinaloa territory. During the Mexico trip, I was quite sick to say the least, and it was there that I finally put my foot down and decided that I would not be filming for the rest of the year and I would return home to address my health as I had been regularly...
Okay, so he wasn't going to the doctor. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you not going to the doctor?
vomiting for almost 2 months at that point. When I got home from Mexico, I tried to resume wrestling, but I ended up having to stop working out altogether as my health got worse and worse. My grandmother
Damn.
passed away on
That's
September
rough.
26th, and I was having really negative
It's probably gonna get age restricted. Damn it.
thoughts about not wanting to exist. My physical and mental state was pretty terrible, and on the day I learned of her passing, I took to my YouTube community page to post this. Sorry for my distance, everyone. Things have been bad for a while, and I have wanted to say more. Sadly, there isn't much I can tell you to explain where my head is at. I have not been feeling okay. This morning I was told my grandmother passed away. I chose going on a film trip this week over seeing her for the last time. Words only do so much to explain this feeling. I'd like to be around for a while, but I fear I may not. Which was pretty dark foreshadowing of what was to come. And on my Patreon, I made a post titled, I'm sorry guys, which stated, I wish I had more for you. Feel free to cancel your membership. I am sorry. Which led to over half of my Patreon members understandably unsubscribing and immediately put me in a financial predicament because of how low my profit margins are and how much I rely on Patreon.
Dude, such deep respect for that. Probably a bad move. You probably should have waited a little while, or like, you know, could have been like, hey man, I'm sick. I don't know. I feel like he tried to hide it, and you can't really hide something like that.
To run this channel. On top of that, the puking had turned into an all-day, everyday occurrence where I couldn't sip bone broth or have jello without vomiting, and I was fighting thoughts of just wanting to give up. I tried cold plunges, saunas, IV therapy, numerous medications, no social media, meditation, and nothing could stop my anxiety, insomnia, and constant stomach problems. I dropped weight all the way from 195 pounds down
That's probably, you know, what got Kurt Cobain for if he took himself out, you know.
to 165 pounds, and I
Really sounds like Kurt Cobain's situation could have happened here.
genuinely began feeling like I might die. It sounds dramatic, but my whole body was cramping, my chest was pounding, I couldn't eat or drink anything, my hands and feet had gone numb, and having exhausted my at-home remedies, I decided I would go to the urgent care for the first time on October 27th. There, I was given an IV of fluid and treated with anxiety medications and Zofran. 2 days later, on October 29th, after 2 days of not sleeping and non-stop vomiting, I returned to the urgent care once more and they did the same thing. IVs, stomach meds, anxiety meds, and absolutely nothing worked. For the next 8 days, I spent the majority of...
Honestly, putting a whole bunch of meds in your stomach didn't help the vomiting, I guarantee.
My time vomiting and getting in and out of the bathtub and shower. It was indescribably brutal. Then, on November 5th, I went to the emergency room begging for help, and they wouldn't give me medicine this time, despite me blacking out and falling in the lobby. They gave me a bag of saline for dehydration and kicked me out the door within 45 minutes. I had no idea what to do.
You probably should have went to a different hospital at that point. Like, go to a different state. Holy shit. Because where I'm from, even if there's nothing wrong with you, I guess because there's so few people, they'll just fucking take you in and do stuff to you.
I flew my mom into town, and she took me to a doctor about an hour away who prescribed me buspirone, an anxiety medication, but that really did nothing, unfortunately. The next 10 or 11 days were a blur. My whole body...
Yeah, you got to get out of there. It sounds like he was sticking around the cities. The cities don't have the greatest hospitals compared to the big towns. They're not exactly cities, but they're not exactly towns. They're bigger than towns. I don't know what else to call them. Probably like 5 towns in one.
Ramping up, I could only sip water and Pedialyte popsicles and still would throw that up. My weight had dropped from 165 down to 157, standing at 6'3". And that brings us to the morning of November 18th, when my body finally decided to give out, after 79 days of vomiting and what I would describe as suffering. Literally, the only reason I did not die on November 18th was because of my wiener dog named Pumpkin. Let me explain. So that morning at 10 a.m., Pumpkin had a vet appointment to get her anal glands expressed, which apparently is a normal thing for small dogs. And instead of taking her to the appointment, I slept through my alarm because I was unconscious in my bed, close to death. My wife was out of town visiting family, so she called me repeatedly, but I wasn't answering, which is unusual, and she ended up calling the police to do a wellness check on me since the last thing I had texted her the night before was that I felt like I was decomposing. The police showed up, and my roommate Turkey Tom answered the door and led them to my room where
I didn't know Turkey Tom was his roommate. Turkey Tom's got a little bit of drama going on right now.
Found me in bed, completely delirious. My feet were extremely swollen, I was totally deaf in both my ears, and the bathtub had been left running overnight. Tom helped me into his car, not yet knowing the severity of the situation, and drove me to the closest urgent care. There, I go inside, but was so disoriented that the receptionist asked Tom if he was my caretaker because she thought that I was mentally handicapped. Apparently, I was rolling around on the pavement.
I mean, he kind of looks retarded too, so, I don't blame her for that.
Even outside and couldn't even remember my birth date. They brought me back, and very quickly they knew something was severely wrong with me, so they called an ambulance to bring me to the local hospital. When I arrived at the hospital, they took my vitals and discovered my blood pressure was as low as 76/48, which
That's
is
bad.
potentially life-threatening. On top of that, they put me on a scale, and I weighed only 150 pounds at 6'3", having lost over 40 pounds in under 3 months. They did some blood work and ran some tests on me, and I ended up finding out I had
I'm fairly skinny, and I'm like 180.
a long list
He's
of
a
health
tall
problems,
guy. I'm
including
like 5'11".
sepsis with acute renal failure, also known as kidney failure, an acute kidney injury, pneumonia of both lungs, acute liver failure, with my blood test showing my AST standing for aspartate aminotransferase, which is a liver enzyme that is normally between 15 to 48 units per liter, with mine coming in at a ridiculously high 2,809, over 58 times higher than the highest healthy range, which is extremely high as you can tell, and considered potentially life-threatening, indicating severe damage to the liver. I also had acute pancreatitis and hyperkalemia, also known as unusually high potassium levels, with mine measuring at 6.3 millimoles per liter,
Yeah, he was all fucked up.
which can be surprisingly dangerous by itself. A toxicology test was performed to rule out me having any harmful substances in my system on both October 28th and November 18th, with me coming back positive for cannabis and benzodiazepines, as I had a prescription for anxiety medication and was smoking marijuana in a futile effort to quell my waning health, but I came up negative for every other substance. Despite what some people have theorized, my health problems were not caused by substance abuse, as I never drink alcohol off camera and have very rarely in the past 15 years used any substances besides marijuana off camera. I think my willingness to be transparent and show myself in inebriated states in my videos has led to people falsely believing I'm actively in a state of addiction, which is understandable, but I do think it's important to clarify this. I also want to say, if I was struggling with addiction, I would have...
I didn't even think that. I heard from other people that said that was kind of not a thing that was going on.
no problem admitting it to my audience and being honest, as I feel being truthful is one of the first steps to recovery. After discovering my laundry list of ailments, the hospital I was at decided I needed to get to an intensive care unit since I was near death. They didn't have one in their facility, so they began looking to transfer me to one nearby, but unfortunately, all of the ICUs in Plano, Fort Worth, and Dallas were full, resulting in me waiting in a state of purgatory until around midnight when an ambulance transferred me 2 hours away to a hospital in Dallas, Texas. Upon arrival, I learned that they still had no
Yep. He was sticking around the cities. That's what I thought.
room for me, so I had to stay overnight in the hallway of the emergency room, completely disoriented, vomiting, unable to hear, and struggling to breathe. It was at this hospital the doctors learned of my trip to Culiacan, Mexico, and after seeing me cough up blood, theorized I may have tuberculosis. My lungs
Whoa.
also had lesions as well as fluid in them, which the doctor described as cavitary pneumonia, which is a severe lung infection where tissue dies and liquefies, forming gas-filled cavities, often seen on imaging as thick-walled pockets within the lung. Apparently, it was visible on the left side of my
So he went to Mexico, and Mexico was so gross that he got all fucked up.
X-ray, although my untrained eye can barely tell. On the morning
I'm
of
probably never going to Mexico.
November 19th, I got into the ICU and started getting proper treatment. Because they thought I may have tuberculosis, they placed me in a negative pressure room designed to stop the spread of my possible infection. In order to rule out
Dude, how old is tuberculosis that they couldn't figure that shit out immediately?
me possibly having tuberculosis, they had to test me 3 separate times, and that process involved sticking a tube in my nose, down my throat, and directly getting a sample from my lungs, which was a terrible experience, to say the least. Just look at this video.
I don't want to look at it. I've seen Jackass, though. I can do this. I've seen Steve-O do some crazy shit. Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. I've got 3 screens that are playing this same thing. I can't look away, no matter what I do. Oh, fuck off. This might be the worst thing I've ever seen.
Trying to get down into his lungs. So it's been caught in this throat. That's what it's doing. But I'm gonna give it a couple more shots and then we'll stop. Okay.
I'm a horror fan, man. You don't see this in
Clearly,
horror
I didn't
movies.
enjoy those tests, but as I waited for my tuberculosis
That was some real shit, man. I didn't like that.
results, I found out some truly horrible news. After performing an echocardiogram on me, doctors discovered my ejection fraction, which is the percentage of blood pumping out of your heart's main pumping chamber, was only 15 to 20%, meaning that I was suffering from acute systolic heart failure. At this point in my hospitalization, I am absolutely panicking about the medical bills I would be accruing the longer I stay.
That's what you were worried about? You had so much shit wrong with you. You were fucking dying. Like, all of your organs were affected in crazy ways.
Didn't have health insurance, and including my urgent care visits, ambulance rides, and now this indefinite stay in the ICU, I knew I would be
Hey, you know what I say about all that shit? I ain't paying it.
looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical bills. So in my desperation, I repeatedly pled with the doctors to let me leave the hospital and go home, and they kept responding that if I left the hospital, I would die. I even whipped out my phone to catch one of these moments on camera.
Why are you saying if I leave, I'm going to die?
We did the echocardiogram of your heart and it's very poor function, okay? So we need to figure out why it's functioning so poorly. So there are a lot of things that need treatment, and if you go home and not do anything about it, then the outcome will not be very good. Okay? So, I mean, I don't know how else to tell you this.
After this moment, I remember thinking, holy shit.
This is a heavy video. What's it called when you have, like, a phobia of medical stuff? I don't have that, obviously, because I'm watching this video. But I know some people that do. And, like, oh, man.
Shit. I can't leave the ICU even if I wanted, and I was really panicking about not having the money to pay for my treatment. I remember a doctor coming into the room and telling me if I wouldn't have came into the hospital when I did, I would have most likely died.
Your heart.
Does anybody know somebody who's got an easily treatable injury? Like, they got injured, could have easily treated it, but they have, like, the medical phobia, so they just have something fucked up and wrong with them. I know a lady who's got, like, she's got a fucked up foot because she broke half of her toes, and she could have just went to go get them fixed, but she just didn't want to go to the doctor. So her foot's just all fucked up.
was in bad shape. Your liver, your kidneys, your breathing, and your blood pressure was super, super low. It was just constantly like, if you wouldn't have came in, it would have got so low where you probably would have lost the blood pressure and died.
I had 3 different IVs in my arms the entire time I was in there and was getting my blood drawn for tests every few hours. Each day they stayed in there, they began to hurt more and more. They kept having to switch the locations because they would clog up and not let anything go in or out of them. Besides IV medication, I was also on a long list of oral medication, so many that I really couldn't keep track of it. As the hours dragged on, my condition was not improving. It was getting more and more difficult to breathe, and on November 21st, I tweeted out, "In the ICU, my heart is failing, my lungs are failing, my liver and kidneys are failing. Things are not looking good, my friends. I love you guys."
That shit went ultra viral.
I remember it feeling like I was drowning during this time, unable to breathe. None of my ailments were improving, and it was so hard to sleep in the ICU. They were always poking you with needles, there was constant noise throughout the night, and it seemed like my IV machines were always having some kind of problem. You could hear patients screaming, and sometimes even family members of the deceased crying out. I sincerely felt like I was never going to get out of that place, and that I would most likely die in there. So after talking with my
Dude, hospitals aren't supposed to be like that. Like, city hospitals are fucking crazy, dude. I've spent a lot of time in hospitals, not like myself being hospitalized, but I basically was raised by old people. There wasn't any like middle generation, like parent generation people around me. So it was all like really old people. So a lot of the people that I loved were in the hospital a lot or died a lot. And, yeah, none of that shit happens. That's crazy. Like, you don't hear nothing really, and everything's usually fine.
family, we came to the conclusion that because I had no health insurance, these medical bills were going to be nearly impossible for me to pay, even if I spent every dollar I had. On top of that, it was clear I was not going to be returning to work anytime soon, and in the situation that I died, God forbid, I would need to provide my wife some financial aid in taking care of our baby. So I made a GoFundMe along with this video telling people about my situation and asking for help. In this video, you can see I have a puppy pad behind and under me, and I'll tell you why. I was so sick with my organs failing, I wasn't really able to get up or control my bowels. And on top of that, I was vomiting profusely. So I was intermittently pissing, shitting, and vomiting on myself like a caged animal. I was literally wearing diapers and being changed by a nurse. It was so brutal, but thankfully, one product genuinely helped, and that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Dude Wipes. New year, new cheeks.
I like Dude Wipes, actually. Like, unironically. Dude Wipes are badass.
Its resolution is to finally level up. Dude Wipes are the New Year glow up your dry toilet paper could never give you.
All right, genuine reaction. I actually love Dude Wipes beyond
they're
them
badass.
sponsoring this video, and I am super
Pun intended.
excited that I just got all these free Dude Wipes in the mail. Cause dude, when you have a
I want free
nasty
Dude
one of the
Wipes.
Sharpie ones that just won't go away, wipe after wipe after wipe, you actually need these wet wipes to get rid of them. These bad boys are extra large, extra wet, and built to handle even the dirtiest of business. No skid marks, no dingleberries, no post-potluck disasters, just
This is just a really gross video. I'm sorry.
clean
No, I'm not.
confidence. Plus, with flavors like shea butter, mint chill, and more, regular toilet paper is just not competing whatsoever. These Dude Wipes are 100% plant-based, made in the USA, and are even flushable.
It's a new year. Stop skidding through life and join the Dude Wipes movement. Don't be an a-hole to your b-hole. Upgrade to Dude Wipes today.
So get Dude Wipes today on Amazon and its retailers nationwide.
Thank you, Dude Wipes. Anyways, so
I just get them from Walmart. Now I want to get some Dude Wipes. They got some good marketing for some butt wipes, man.
made this GoFundMe, and to my absolute shock, the video immediately exploded. The community rallied behind me, and it ended up trending on Twitter and getting tens of millions of views across all platforms, which was by far the most love and attention I've ever received in my 6-year career as a content creator. My goal was to raise $75,000 to help with the medical bills and expenses, and it reached that goal in just hours, which was truly unbelievable to me, and I can't thank you guys enough. Over 10,000 hardworking everyday people came forward to show me financial support, and I sincerely cannot thank them enough. I also want to thank all the creators that helped me spread the GoFundMe and those that donated, such as Mr. Beast, Europa.com, Isaiah Nichols, Jadon Adams, Sam Hyde, Tommy G, Mams Taylor, and many, many more. Even if you prayed for me, I want to express my deepest thanks for caring, as I believe the power of prayer genuinely contributed to saving my life. Unfortunately, aside from the success of the GoFundMe, there really wasn't any good medical news for a few days, but eventually I got an official diagnosis and my body began responding to the medicine. That diagnosis from the doctor was that I had sepsis pneumonia, which in my case was a bacterial infection that got into my lungs and eventually my blood, causing my liver and kidneys to fail along with permanently damaging my lungs. And that was coupled with Coxsackie virus type B, which more commonly causes hand, foot, and mouth disease, but in my rare situation, it caused me to go into heart failure. Eventually, the tuberculosis results came back and I was deemed negative for TB, which was fantastic news.
Awesome.
After several days, the blood tests began to show my liver, kidney, and pancreas were improving and seemingly on their way to returning to normal.
Honestly, they should have figured out that TB thing right away.
Despite this, the doctors told me that I could not be released from the ICU until my heart showed some kind of improvement, which so far it had not. Also, I was still vomiting and in terrible stomach pain. I honestly feel bad for the patients in rooms near me that had to hear my screams of agony. So at this point, I clearly didn't feel that good, but my condition had stabilized and I was just playing a waiting game. Eventually, one of my echocardiograms came back with good news thanks to the medicine I was on. It showed my heart's ejection fraction had increased from 15 to 20% all the way up to 35 to 40%, which is still in the heart failure range, but good enough of an improvement for me to be moved.
Dude, I couldn't imagine being in so much pain that you're screaming in agony. I've never been in that much pain before, I don't think. I can't think of it. Like, when I was a kid, yeah. But that's different than being an adult who never screams in pain and agony. Having to scream in pain and agony, it's crazy to me. It's unfathomable.
Moved out of the ICU, into the PCU, and eventually released from the hospital. I remember my first day home from the hospital, I was so incredibly weak and disoriented, I could barely walk or move my arms. To document my recovery, I began trying to film a video journal of sorts.
I don't know how I look, but I'll tell you, I've never felt this weak in my entire life.
I'm sorry I laughed. I'm not laughing at this. I laughed because I just realized what I'm going to title this video. I'm going to call it, like, The Unfortunate Survival of Brandon Buckingham or something.
How does my body look, Mom?
Thin.
I feel like I can barely lift my arms. And, I guess when your heart isn't beating, you're so incredibly weak. It feels like crazy. I just wanted to record this to have a video diary of my first day back home. I feel really weird. I don't know if you can see my pupils. I almost feel like I'm hallucinating, but yeah, really thankful to
He looks like a Jewish Lane Staley right before he died.
be alive. How do you feel, Mom?
I'm very thankful that you're here, buddy. Very thankful.
Got a beautiful daughter.
And I know you can get better.
I feel really weird.
That's okay. All right. All right.
You probably feel awkward recording this. I'll
This right here, that'll make everything all better.
stop.
Just stop. All right.
I had grown so weak I couldn't even pick up a pillow or unscrew a water bottle. My arms and hands were super bruised, but the good news is that I stopped wearing diapers at this time. The bad part about that was walking to the bathroom felt like I was running a mile and would leave me completely exhausted. Since my heart was still failing, my vision was blurred almost like I had double vision. I was dizzy throughout the day, and doing any household task was exhausting and disorienting. All I could really do was eat and sleep, but every time I would sleep, I would wake up freezing cold, covered in sweat like I had gotten in the shower. So this is
That's
my sweatshirt after
crazy.
one of my night terrors.
Yeah, man, you gotta sweat that shit out.
Just totally drenched in sweat.
Body's working hard.
It's like the deepest feeling of fear and terror. It has been by far the worst night sweats and terrors I've ever experienced. With less medication
Yeah,
and no
I bet.
nurses on call 24/7 to make sure I wasn't dying, I began to feel like things were getting worse and worse each day I was out of the hospital. Every day was filled with anxiety, paranoia, heart palpitations, exhaustion, and night terrors. Just woke up another night back home. feel so horrible. I just cannot do anything without being exhausted, and every time I sleep, I'm just covered in sweat and freaking out. I don't know if you can see.
You know, that kind of reminds me of when I got COVID the first time, the first 2 weeks, dude. That's what it was like. It was like I'd be awake though for like 3 hours. I couldn't get warm, and I was always fucking hot, man. I was hot and I couldn't get warm. That's the feeling that I could describe to you, I guess. I was sweating and freezing, and sleep for 3 hours, be awake for 2 hours, sleep for 3 hours, and it just repeated that cycle for like 2 weeks. It was awful.
The sweat.
So I kind of feel this part.
Talking to my family the days following my release from the hospital, we realized I had lost a significant portion of my memory, and some of my update videos
Wow.
were completely incoherent. So
I'm actually dealing with a very close family member right now, having a schizophrenic episode, and she's having issues with memory. And it's real weird, because she knows that she's having issues with memory, and she knows stuff that she can't remember, but she just like, it's on the tip of her tongue. Like people's names, places she's been, and it's like her memories have skipped entire segments of her life that she just doesn't remember. It's crazy.
Decided while
Memory
I focus on
loss is
recovery,
weird.
it was best that I stopped doing the video journal thing and actually stop using my phone altogether, with this recording being the last thing I recorded until now.
Good decision.
I'm gonna check my weight right now, you guys, because last time I checked it, I was 145 pounds, and
This makes me want to drink
I've gained
water.
some weight in the past week or two. Let's look at this here.
147.8. That ain't good.
147.8. 6'3", 147 pounds is the lowest I've weighed since I was 14 years old, so I began focusing on trying to eat more. My cardiologist recommended that I go on walks to help strengthen my heart. At first, I could barely walk to the end of my driveway or lift my arms above my head, but day by day, I became able to walk down the street, brush my teeth by myself, eventually walk around the block, pick up a pillow, and now I'm at the point where I can walk for an extended period of time and do everyday tasks with my arms. I remember how bad it felt. For weeks after I got released from the hospital, I would try to pick up my daughter and would be physically unable to. And I'm pleased to say that I'm now able to pick her up and carry her for multiple minutes. I am recovering little by little, day by day.
You say?
My liver, kidney, and pancreas are all
Okay, so he's not 100%. That's not good to hear.
fully recovered back to 100%. I'm no longer vomiting regularly for the first time since July of 2025, and I have gained 15 pounds since my release from the hospital. The not so good news is that my lungs have permanent damage to them, and according to my most recent echocardiogram, I am still in heart failure, leaving me feeling pretty bad most days. The doctors say I will need to take 3 different heart medications for the rest of my life:
Wow.
spironolactone, losartan, and metoprolol. I was hoping to give an update that my heart had totally healed, but the unfortunate reality is that I very well may be dealing with heart problems for the rest of my life. A lot of the problems that come with heart
That
failure, like
fucking
dizziness,
sucks,
exhaustion, numbness in my extremities, and blurry vision, make it pretty difficult for me to edit my videos, use social media, and do my job, but hopefully in time these symptoms will go away. The recovery process has had many ups and downs, with just a few weeks ago, after planning a birthday party for my 1-year-old daughter, I woke up with extra blurred vision and a terrible migraine. I got up and began helping set up the birthday decorations, and not long after, I became so dizzy I vomited and was stuck in between the bed and bathroom the entire day, totally missing out on the celebrations. Then, on New Year's Eve, I had such a vicious migraine, I was pretty much unable to leave my bed the entire day. I truly feel like I've aged 10 years in the past 3 months. I'm even getting white hairs in my beard if you look closely. You don't realize how much you take for granted in life until it's all taken from you. For months of this year, I was incredibly depressed, even asking for death at times, and when God gave me what I asked for, all I wanted was a second chance at life. And that second chance is why I feel like I am truly blessed. You know, when I think about my brother Kyle, I feel so sad that he never got a second chance to live. He didn't get the privilege of having heart failure, almost dying, and making a miraculous recovery. He just had a heart attack and was gone forever. I got to see how much the world loved me and get a taste of what it would be like to lose everything. So I don't look at this whole situation and feel sorry for myself. I view it as one of the best things that could have happened to me, a chance to give me some much needed perspective and have another opportunity to live my life to the fullest. It is a blessing to be on this earth. This whole situation has deepened my belief in God and Jesus Christ, and it has made me so incredibly grateful for all the amazing people I've got to meet along this
Based.
journey. So, what's next for me? Well, I'm not medically cleared to travel, and I still need to focus on my health, so I won't be filming any of my regular content anytime soon. But thankfully, I have a lot of pre-filmed videos on my hard drive ready to be edited, so I'm going to be staying home for the foreseeable future, editing videos I have filmed over the past 4 years, content from Japan all the way to Amsterdam, collaborations with JonTron, Wendigoon, Meat Canyon, and
Oh, hell
Babytron,
yeah.
to name a few. As y'all will see in the months
I
to
like
come, in
JonTron.
many of these videos, I am partying, being wild, and generally just not taking care of my health, and it's important to note these videos were filmed prior to 2026. Until I say otherwise, I am not going to be on the road. I am just going to be at home taking care of my health and editing previously unreleased content. If you want to see what could potentially be the craziest video I have ever filmed, and you know I do not say that lightly, one that I have been sitting on for a very long time, it is available now exclusively on my Patreon. It's a video where I
Oh,
document
okay.
car thieves.
Yeah. I saw him advertise it. That's what I was remembering from it.
Breaking into vehicles, stealing them, and going on joyrides. In this episode, I document them stealing multiple cars, going on a high-speed chase from the police, crashing cars, and we even get shot up while I'm sitting in the front seat of a car, ultimately cutting the engine block off and making us dash from that vehicle into another one and go on an escape. It's the video I talked about earlier in this episode that was so intense it caused me a bunch of anxiety, insomnia, also probably dredged up some feelings from the Chicago shooting or the DC shooting or the O Block shooting. And yeah, it's intense. So if you want to watch it and you want to support me, it would really mean a lot if you go on over to my Patreon. Anyone who unsubscribed, resubscribes, I'm going to be consistent on there. I'm going to be posting stuff, and just help me keep the channel alive, because right now your boy is in a rough spot. Oh yeah, and for anyone wondering, I got my medical bills from the hospital, and the largest bill is literally $362,000, with the total cost
Whoa.
of all the bills
Damn.
combined being around $450,000. So your support on Patreon will be very, very appreciated, and I'm going to keep the GoFundMe open until I'm able to pay these bad boys off. Also, any advice in doing that would be greatly appreciated. In conclusion, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you for watching my content. Thank you to everyone who donated, and thank you to everyone who prayed for me.
I need to watch some more Brandon Buckingham content, I think. There's a bunch of videos that I missed. I might as well just run through the whole catalog. Just have them playing, in the background. I should probably do that. I've got that TV screen. That would help him out a lot with the ad revenue. Just keep him running 24/7. I could totally do that.
I am beyond grateful to still be here and have the opportunity to do what I love. Thank you all so much for watching, and you'll be seeing me next week because I got some good stuff in store. Peace.
Right on, man. Dude, I'm so glad that he's at least still alive. I want him to be making videos, but not if it's going to be a detriment to his health. But he's going to be editing a bunch of stuff, so we're definitely going to be getting some crazy videos soon. And that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. So let's get into some Tectone stuff. We got some fast facts from Legal Mindset about the whole Tectone situation. And I've been waiting for this. This is literally the video that I've been waiting for. I need more information. I don't trust anybody on the internet. Asmongold hasn't said shit. Dude, what is with Twitch? Literally, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different accounts that are just bots that are trying to get me to click on shit. No thanks. If that's how Twitch is going to be, I'm just going to jump off of it. Okay. Tectone, Under Fire, Fast Facts, let's go. I don't know nothing about this.
The Tectone files. Today we get into a drop of documents regarding Tectone and his ongoing legal saga with his former ex. We're going to get that today on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney living over here in Asia. And this is a fast facts, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So let's jump right into the Tectone files. And once again, this is regarding streamer Tectone, who is today our defendant in this case, the Eggman. Now, to be a real quick disclosure, of course, I do know Tectone. He's an individual I'm familiar with, so you could say I have a bias.
I don't know Tectone, and I don't like Tectone. I love his content, though. I like to watch him. He's entertaining. I'd probably be friends with him. I don't like any of my friends either, so, you know, that's how it goes. I don't like anybody.
Bias towards Tectone, but
Especially my
I'm going
friends.
to try to do this as neutrally as possible and present both sides of the argument. Because remember, there are always two sides of the argument, and particularly in this post-debt Me Too era, we have to consider all of the factors before we just go out and cancel someone for these allegations. And then
I ain't canceling nobody.
we've got the
I
plaintiff
don't have the
Pikachu,
power
who's
to do
a,
shit.
Streamer here.
I'll talk
and
about it,
we're going to
though.
be getting into their relationship. The important thing to notice between the defendant, Tectone, and Pikachu is they dated, right? So these are exes. They had a relationship that is now over. And then you have filings and accusations coming from this.
She looks insane, though. That was a major mistake. I don't know what happened, but Tectone probably shouldn't have got with this chick. She looks like a problem.
Mainly from a drop by Miskiff, who is clearly trying to put information out there that leads people away from his own case at this point. That seems to be his general.
Yeah, that seems to be exactly what he's doing. Because why would he be talking? He shouldn't be talking about this shit. I don't know why. I think he thinks it's gonna make him popular, make him look good. You know, if Tectone goes down. But he's on the wrong side, dude. Even if Tectone is, you know, guilty of anything, Mizkif just doesn't need to be talking about it. It's such a huge L because we know why he's doing it. It's not what he's doing. It's why he's doing it.
Legal strategy. So let's get into this. This is Pikachu versus Tectone over abuse allegations, both emotional and sexual in nature. There were filings both in the civil context and the criminal context. Now, the civil context that was taken all the way to a conclusion, but the criminal context, remind you, was a police report which was dropped. So that is very, very critical here that there are no criminal conclusions regarding Tectone, and that's something that needs to be very, very much reinforced.
It sounds like two crazy people were in a relationship and crazy shit happened. I know so many people this happened to, and I guarantee you they were both crazy in it, and I don't know about the sexual misconduct stuff. I think that's where all of this kind of that's the heaviest part. Nobody really cares about anything else but that.
Throughout all of this. Now, Tectone did deny the allegations of Pikachu, including her of defamation and in filing counter evidence. But Tectone ultimately lost his civil suit and was ruled liable for SA, even despite the fact that the criminal case was dropped by police. And this had consequences for Tectone because Mythic,
That's really weird.
the talent agency, which is also my talent agency, dropped him over this. Now, to be very clear about this, once again, with Mythic, I've made it very clear with them that I will be covering issues regardless of how things look. And with Mythic, they have a right, and I can say this based on my own contract, to drop you based on brand appearance, etc. And many advertisers are gun shy. So even if
I don't think I'm gonna be hopping on one of these what do you call them? They're networks.
allegations are just allegations, they can drop you. Think about Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was dropped by Disney, dropped by other advertisers.
Is that how you get famous in this world? You have to sign your life away. You got to sign yourself away to these networks. Because I'd rather just have nothing.
Simply because of allegations that were not yet proven in court. So this is something that Mythic dropping him doesn't make him per se guilty of anything at this point. Another person, by the way, that's involved in this, and we're going to get into this, is Freem, who is a former marriage partner of Tectone. So while she's not necessarily a plaintiff.
Oh, that's two different people? I thought that was the same person. Well, he's definitely got a type.
Information is very much relevant to this analysis. So let's get into the kind of some background here before we get into a word. But actually, before we do that, let's get into a word from today's video sponsor. And now a word from today's sponsor, Delete Me. Okay, guys, let's be real. New Year's resolutions really do not last long, usually not outside January. Gym memberships, diets, budgets, all those things that are all nebulous, that don't have any set goals, that don't have any concrete things, those usually get blown before Valentine's Day.
I don't know what delete me is. That's why I'm watching this ad.
But Delete Me to sponsor this video is a quick New Year's resolution that you can complete in just 5 minutes. The resolutions that I tend to keep are ones that are fast, they're easy to finish in one sitting, and they're net positive for my life. They do something good that I can get done very, very, very quickly. And that's exactly what's offered with Delete Me, which is my first sponsor ever on this channel. It removes your personal details like contact information and your home address from
that's what I figured it
hundreds
was.
of data broker sites that can be set up quickly and
I think I've seen this ad before, but he did it differently, so I didn't recognize it.
less time than a pizza delivery.
Good
And
ad.
all of this, all the protection that you get from Delete Me runs completely in the background and does the work for you, protecting your privacy all year
Very
long.
useful,
This is
sounds
key
like.
for reducing your digital footprint, which can protect you from all of the scams out there on the internet. And there are tons of scams on the internet. As a naturally lazy person, and I am so lazy, this is something that even I, Mr. Captain Lazy, could get done really quickly. And it's the laziest smart thing you could do all year. Right now,
You know what I like to do? I think it's a better way to. I still use a lot of tools to keep everything as private as possible. I just without paying, but I like to put out misinformation and disinformation about myself. It's real. It's real fun, and sometimes it can be funny.
get 20% discount with the link in the description and the pinned comments below. Now, we live in a world that's post-Depp versus Amber Heard, and this is actually, despite what people say, it wasn't Disney, it wasn't Doki, it wasn't anything else that really blew me up. It was Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp and covering this case. And in this case, LawTube really blew up because we started covering this neutrally, whereas the whole world in that Me Too era was pro Amber Heard, was pro saying believe all women, believe what she says. And it turns out that Johnny Depp was indeed wronged here, and he was vindicated in court. And so when I analyze the Tectone case, I look at this as we are in a
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think this situation feels like.
post-Depp world. We need to live in a world where we don't believe my dog stepped on a bee, and we don't believe any tall tale that came out of what Amber Heard's mouth or anybody else says, because we've seen cases out there in the US that I've covered on this channel, like Trevor Bauer, like the Khan case at Princeton, where we have people that are absolutely destroyed. Their careers are just absolutely wrecked based on pure allegation. So let's get into what happened.
And that's why I don't give a shit, and there's actual proof of this shit. If not, and it's just gonna be kind of a whisper in the wind, I don't give a shit.
All the evidence I'm treating at a higher degree if it's been filed with a court, not just online. But a lot of this stuff
I don't even give a shit about evidence. I gotta have hard proof.
that's been filed, that's online, was indeed filed with the court. And every individual case has to be evaluated for its impact. So what does a civil case mean? Well, what that means is there's a standard of proof that's lower. It's preponderance of the evidence, 51%, you could say, instead of reasonable beyond a reasonable doubt, which is 99.9% of the time, and such, or up in the upper percentages of happening. But Tectone hasn't been convicted of anything criminal. So for all those out there, and I'm looking at you, all the pikers of the world and everybody else who's throwing the names out there, calling him the R
We're gonna be talking about him in a little bit.
word, and I can't say that because of YouTube,
Not about
is
this.
not actually okay. He hasn't been convicted. That is still defamatory to label him as a criminal when he is indeed not been convicted criminally. So one thing, looking at the background here, once again, part one, just looking at the background, Travis County in Texas has a huge pro-female bias in terms of outcomes. Women who file tend to get very, very, very favorable outcomes in Texas, in Travis County. And there's a potential activist judge who had a DV bias, who had a history of that did not recuse himself in this case. Super relevant. Also, a jury pool that's biased towards the plaintiff with a skewed heavy female bias. Everybody in the courtroom being female, that can tend to bias things when it comes to these outcomes. The other thing, which is different from the Miss Kiff situation, is we haven't seen abusive communications. In fact, all the communications I reviewed show Tectone as a reasonable, kind guy. He approached Pikachu as a friend, not even as a person trying to slide into the DMs, which, number one, is not a crime, but number two, that wasn't how he approached it. He approached this very innocently unfortunately, after he was betrayed in a relationship, which Freem cheated on him with somebody who was working at the same company, so a work partner, right? So after he was cheated on, he ends up engaging in this relationship, which once again, not smart to rebound, not smart to work with somebody, or sorry, engage with somebody who's perhaps a streamer right afterwards. Dating streamers, always not good, right? Two streamers dating, always not good. But we haven't seen those abusive communications.
Or if you're not a streamer, don't date a streamer. It's gonna be real hard for me, I guess.
Communications, they look much more supportive.
I'm gonna be single forever, probably.
And by the way,
cool
I'm
with it.
very, very, very cognizant as someone who struggles with depression myself. This is something I'm very, very sympathetic to for both parts, right? Because Tectone has his own mental health stuff and Pikachu has her own mental health stuff. But when I read this communications between the two, it doesn't seem like this is abusive. So Pikachu says right here, I have something called PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, that I'm being treated for. So I'm in a lot of physical pain and my emotions are really bad, like just feeling so depressed I don't even want to. So on stream today, it was really, really rough. I'm trying to be tough through it all, but it's not easy when it feels like the end of the world. So please be patient with me. The doctor said it could be 6 months for treatment to fully work, but in the meantime, it's awful. Manage the mood swings and pain. And I understand this. I understand this completely. And so I'm sympathetic to this. And I understand that there may be some other things going in there with BPD or bipolar disorder, something I'm very familiar with. And I get that. I completely get that. She says, thank you to everyone for being so kind to me while I deal with this. I'm sorry for crying on stream. Well, I did that today. Sometimes it's harder holding it in, but I'm hoping by summer it's going to go a lot better to hang in there. It's tough. I get
What the
it.
fuck are you doing crying on stream, you fucking pussies? Who cries on stream? I've never cried on stream.
It's tough. And what does Tectone say? He says, I will never understand how much this must hurt you, but proud you're fighting through it. And this is not the language I would see of an abusive partner, someone who's hurting or someone who's out there to get somebody, but someone who really genuinely wants to help and genuinely cares. So Pikachu's filings regarding Freem are contradictory. She had filings regarding Freem to get her information taken down because Freem called her a house wrecker, called her all sorts of things, filmed her again without her consent, engaging in sexual activities with Tectone. Once again, several civil and potentially criminal violations regarding Pikachu and Tectone that were committed by Freem, and Pikachu filed to stop those, which is to me contradictory. And it seems like this may be a case of what you call buyer's remorse in dating, where you go back and you say, okay, well, now that I'm out of this, this is a situation where it was buyer's remorse. I regret things I did, or I regret stuff I did, even though it was consensual at the time. And unfortunately, as I got to report to you guys, the U.S. legal system weaponizes this. It allows people to go back, regret things, and then go get protective orders, go make claims in the future when all of this should be dealt with privately. So my judgment at this moment,
dude, our legal system is completely fucked. I know so many people who really are innocent of all wrongdoing who get thrown into the ringer because they did some weird stuff with a girl, and the girl was like, yeah, I decided that was too weird for me and it broke my brain, and I'm blaming you because you tricked me into it, even though, you know, you were both degenerates.
Reviewed the documents that are out there is to withhold judgment for the moment pending release of further documentation evidence. We may have stuff that eventually gets unsealed or more communications that come out, more than just what Miss Kip
or if Tectone dropped some hard proof outside of all this criminal case stuff, or not criminal case, civil case stuff.
Trying to put out to paint some sort of narrative. In a post-debt world, we all need to account for all the evidence taken as
I've got a solution to this, though. If anybody wants to not have to deal with all of this, don't do degenerate shit. I mean, I know it's hard. It's hard to not do degenerate shit. Trust me, I know. But you got to not do degenerate shit
before concluding somebody is ripe for cancellation, right? Miskiff releasing these documents clearly does just to take pressure off his case, which contains evidence of abusive communications. Now, I'm not saying Miskiff is guilty yet. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt too. He's going to have his day in court. But if all he's got is throwing a plushie, that's not going to do enough to get away from all the accusations. And first and foremost, I also think that intimate partner relations are very personal and private. Things can get heated between partners. And you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be dragging this out to the court of public opinion.
That's what I
to
think.
Sue people to make these things right. Maybe we should handle these things privately as adults between two people. Right now, judgment is withheld, but we'll get back. What do you guys think in the comments below? What do you think about Tectone?
I think Tectone fucked up. I think he kind of brought all of this onto himself. I think he didn't really do anything wrong, you know. He did some degenerate shit. But so was she, and so was the other chick. There was all degenerate, and I think all streamers are degenerate. I'm kind of a degenerate. So you know, I don't fucking care, dude. I just don't care. I'm so sick of this kind of shit. It's very interesting to me, but like, I like the drama when it gets political. That's my favorite kind. When people are just being retarded about politics. I don't like criminal or civil or government court shit. Get that shit out of here, man. Yeah. So, Cece returned, and all the damage control is insane. How the fuck? So she unbanned on Twitch? Oh, okay. Was she banned on Twitch? I don't even fucking remember. I'm getting all these streamers mixed up. Which one was Cece?
We got a tweet from this Salmon
Oh, the racist one.
account from just the other day here, getting 1.5 million Twitter views about CCFPS, the team leader in the Deadpool Creator Cup tournament for the team that Kingsman was a part of, as well as, of course, Luciasa and Zaza. I can't help but laugh. I'm sorry. I've had so many people in Rivals like just making Zaza jokes.
Zaza sounds like a coffee shop from the early 2000s.
It's all like, I just had like a flashback to that from last night. But anyways, continuing. The tweet says, there is no shot she had the balls to come back online. I hope the chat fries her. Well, she indeed came back online, live streaming on Twitch the other day. And there wasn't too much notable stuff regarding the Kingsman situation, but there was two things that she apparently said. One was blaming the backlash on misinformation, and two, blaming the backlash that she was getting on it being a quote-unquote slow or dry drama week. I think that's what people said that she said. I don't have the clip, unfortunately.
I don't know what she's seeing on the internet. I don't know what her X feed looks like, but it has not been dry in the drama.
It's a very quick thing.
I've been having a hard time keeping up ever since January started.
And there's no VOD. You know, she's taking the VODs down, apparently. But, yeah, blaming the backlash on misinformation and it just being a slow drama week. And it's like, well, no, that's not why you got so much backlash. Come on, that is a lot of cope. That is immense cope. You got backlash for what you did. It had nothing to do with it allegedly being a slow or dry drama week. Cease.
The backlash is deserved. I'm not giving her any backlash. I'm just making fun of her because, dude, these people are toxic and retarded every time.
See, nice try. We've also got some updates in this video to go over regarding Ashlyn FPS and some other streamer, Sen Amori or something like that, Aramori, who was defending Ashlyn, then got backlash, ended up deleting her tweet, and then posting a bunch of other nonsense as well. So
don't delete tweets, please. Just don't delete tweets. Don't block people. And stop crashing out. Don't get upset online. If you're upset, put your phone down and just don't fucking look at it. Stay off the internet. And just, you know, think about what you're doing. These people I guess they don't know how to think though, so, you know, they can't do that.
We'll talk about that. Also got a very interesting update from Bassam, the host of the Deadpool Creator Cup tournament, who actually left a few comments on one of my videos covering the situation. We'll be talking about that too. We have one more quick update about CCFPS here though. Over on Twitter, we can see that CC's official Twitter account has since entered protected mode. The entire account
Okay. All right.
is locked down. People weren't buying the apologies.
Is she going over to Blue Sky?
So instead now, just hiding everything, just locking everything down. CC is not the only one. We've also got Ashlyn FPS.
Yeah, we'll probably see her back at some point.
Here, you can see Ashlyn.
Well, I don't know who this is, but I don't really want to know.
account also fully locked down into protected mode.
It's not very many followers.
This one's pretty funny. I don't know if you guys remember this. Let me give a quick refresher. Ashlyn had made a few tweets really trying to come off as unbiased and neutral as possible, which was hilarious because there was a clear bias towards trying to defend Cece and Luciasa and let's just say like the Mean Girl Club, right? Which would of course be Cece, Luciasa, and Zaza. And then throw Ashlyn in there as well. And some of these other like rival streamers that are a part of it. Apparently
there's so many of these streamers. How does anybody keep up with them? These nobody streamers that like they just pop up in my feed and now they're everywhere. Can't
like
get away from them.
Server and
it happens like 1 week out of the month. There's just some new streamers that I've never heard of doing some dumb shit that everybody's talking about.
As mentioned, they just act like the Mean Girl Club in there or whatever. But this is to say that Ashlyn made a few statements trying to seem unbiased, but clearly trying to also sway public opinion against Kingsman in a very like deceptive way. This didn't go well. People saw right through it, called Ashlyn out. And then to make it worse for Ashlyn, there was also a leaker in the Discord server that posted screenshots of Ashlyn in that Discord server, clearly siding with Cece and trying to defend Cece. So everyone was pointing.
Don't let these people try and bully you off the internet. Well, we ain't gonna be trying. We're gonna do it.
Pointing that out too, showing that Ashlyn was indeed just trying to be manipulative. Ashlyn then attempted to make.
If you are bullyable, you will be bullied. And so stop. Just stop before you're ahead. Don't be toxic, but they can't help it. These people are fucking toxic, dude.
Some sort of non-apology and was very like sarcastic
to their core
and smug about it all, saying something like, okay, fine, CC's bad, Kingsman's good, you know, like just really, really petty response. And so ultimately, you know, Ashlyn gets more and more backlash for just acting like this, and now the entire account's in protected mode, as you can see. Keep all that in mind. We're going to return to the Ashlyn stuff, but before we get too far into that, and this other Amori person, or whatever her name is, who tried to defend Ashlyn and then looked terrible, and then made like a literal wall of text trying to apologize for it. This is a whole weird thing, obviously. A lot of weird stuff going on with this whole situation from these people. Recurring theme from these people.
Yep. Dude, it's always so weird. These people are so fucking weird. I bet they live in LA also, though. LA is just a cesspool of fucked up.
But really quick, as mentioned, I want to talk about the Bassam stuff instead of burying the lead on that at the end of the video. So on my video titled, Now CC is Deleting Evidence, but She Got Caught from 5 days ago, I recently noticed a few comments that looked to be from the official Bassam account right here on YouTube. Here's what they say. The first one there at the top reads, Kingsman DMs me and says that he's about to tweet something out that can clear my name a bit. And then in the second comment, he says, I understand people are going to be late finding out stuff on the internet. All my VODs have been up. A lot of the lies in this video have been debunked. Me and Kingsman are cool, and we've been talking every day. I've been taking accountability for 6 days. For example, the green light thing was a lie. Eventually, the truth will come out. I know what I messed up on. And so when I first saw these comments, I was skeptical that it was really Bassam. But again, I clicked his account, and it does seem to be his official YouTube account.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool that he's taking accountability, I guess, and he's saying that he was wrong and he lied. But I just don't care, man. I don't know who this guy is.
Next thing I want to point out is where he says lies in the video. The first time I read that, I was like, wait a second, is this guy calling me a liar? I'm like, dude, I'm just talking about what was put out there by other people. It turns out, though, as I continued reading the comment and he posted that example of the green light thing, which is a reference to something CC said, I came to the conclusion that when he's talking about lies in the video, he's talking about lies in the clips that I included, for example, the CC clip about the green light thing, which for context, let's play that really quick so you can see what he's talking about.
That 20 minutes before I got kicked, Cece said she had to go do something real quick. And that's it.
And yes, although Basim is the one who made the final decision, Cece is the one who signed off on it. She literally said it in her own stream right here.
Where he's just like demoralizing my whole team, bro. Like, no, the point where no one even wanted to play with him. That's kind of what it felt like.
Oh, nobody wants to play with him because he's so mean in a fucking tournament for like, what was it, $40,000? Get fucked, dude. I'm gonna be mean too if you're not trying to win that $40,000.
Like,
or, you know, just the clout from winning a fucking tournament. What are we talking about here? How did he get caught up in a tournament where these people were his teammates? That sounds like a whole fucked up situation that I don't want to be a part of.
Some asked me, he was like, do you think this is alright? Like, is this true? I'm gonna do this. Like, you can greenlight it. And I'm being honest.
Dude, the competitive streamer space is so fucking toxic. I can't with it. That's why I just kind of stick to indie retro titles. Indie and retro titles. Because I play a lot of new games, but most of them are indie games. I'm playing that shit. I ain't playing all this modern slop that all the streamers are playing. Maybe there's a reason why I'm not doing so good with the numbers. Because I'm not the typical streamer that all of the streaming platforms want to push. I'm kind of just a fucking moron and an asshole.
Yes, guys, I greenlit it because my team didn't, like, I had 3 people on my team that just did.
If Basim really came to you, why don't you
I thought my PC just cut off straight up.
tell me something about it? Because every time I make a suggestion, your only response to me is to tell me to shut the fuck up. Then of course we're not going to have a positive team experience. And all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, I'm kicked from the tournament, no warning, nothing.
With that context, once again, yeah, it sounds like Basim is saying that the whole green light thing that CC was talking about there.
It seems like this whole situation was way better for Kingsman than if he actually would have won. Or if he wasn't kicked from that team and they just kept going. You know? He came out on top on this. Good for him.
Was actually
way better than, you know, how it could have gone.
But he did also mention something
if
about
nothing happened.
Kingsman apparently saying that he's going to tweet something out that can clear Basim's name. I don't think that ever happened, though. The only tweets on Kingsman's account is still these from back on January 21st, which is before Basim left that comment on my channel, as my video that Basim left those comments on came out on January 23rd. And again, Kingsman's only tweets there predate that by a few days, only being on January 21st and being about the CC files. So that can't be what Basim was referring to, right? He's making it sound like there were supposed to be new tweets that would have came out after my video, so after January 23rd at some point, and that doesn't seem to have ever happened. Now, I don't know if Basim's lying or if he was telling the truth and Kingsman just never did this for whatever reason. Who knows what could have happened there? I have no idea. I'm just sharing you the information that I saw posted. And lastly, Basim's comment did of course also claim that he and Kingsman have been talking every day and that they're cool now. So, make of all this what you will. All right.
I'm gonna make of it as I don't give a shit.
Right, let's return to the Ashlyn FPS stuff. I mentioned
I'm just waiting for something interesting to happen.
There was more to all that. So, before
like CC coming out and saying she don't like black people, that's pretty fucking interesting to me. And that's just what I was waiting for. With all of the other bullshit, it was that. That's what I wanted out of all of it.
Before Ashlyn privated her entire account, went into protected mode, Ashlyn had actually posted this damage control tweet. It didn't really go so well. So, this of course, just to be sure we're on the same page, came after Ashlyn got exposed for
I ain't reading all that.
The Discord leak, exposed for being very biased, even when she was trying to seem like that wasn't the case, right? So that all happens, and then Ashlyn posts this. Hi, I want to clarify I had no participation in the tournament. I have no horse in this race. I simply saw some people I have played with in the past in a stressful situation and wanted to support them.
I don't know why people always think that they have to say something, they have to do something whenever anything happens. You don't. Just shut the fuck up and just keep looking forward and doing your thing. As soon as you get involved in some stupid shit like this where it's 2 people against each other, why would you throw yourself in the middle of that? It's so dumb.
I definitely jump to conclusions, too, and I take responsibility for my actions. My initial responses and reactions were poorly.
You can say this, but actions speak louder than words. You're going to have to actually fucking do something to show that you actually mean this.
Thought out, but coming from a place of support. What I've learned is I need to wait until I see the entire context before I give input. I need to hold the right people properly accountable, and I didn't do that this time. I need to start taking ththings more seriously and be more tactful with my response in the future.
Yeah, by not saying anything.
This is my learning experience. I will try my best to do better going forward. Oh my gosh, what?
These people are
It's
pathetic.
just so weird because Ashlyn wasn't even involved in any of this directly. Ashlyn chose to get involved, like seemingly first, from what I've seen, on the Discord server. I said that clunkily, my bad. But it's like, in my mind, I'm piecing this all together right now, and this stuff looks so weird, right? So, Ashlyn's in that Discord server, clearly defending CC, and then, like, makes the really, really deceptive, manipulative statement, trying to get people to move on from the situation, and saying that everyone's the problem, including Kingsman, when it was like, no, clearly,
Stay
Kingsman wasn't
hydrated.
the problem here. It was CC in that group. CC, Zaza, Luciasa. So that was nonsensical. Then Ashlyn gets backlash for that. And then, like, doubles down in a way. Gets more backlash. And then ultimately posts this statement that I just read. And it's like, what do you mean? You simply saw some people you played with in the past in a stressful situation and wanted to support them. You didn't do that, though. You were clearly trying to throw Kingsman under the bus and only supporting certain people in the situation and saying you have no horse in this race. That's true to an extent because, yeah, Ashlyn wasn't a part of the tournament, but based off the Discord leaks, it looks like Ashlyn's horse in the race, so to speak, was trying to get clout with the Mean Girl Club.
Yep, a whole bunch of toxic teenager bullshit.
And then, hey, they don't have that much clout anymore because they all just got exposed for being toxic, to say the least. And then after that happens, oh, I have no horse in this race, guys. I don't know. This is such a weird thing. Like, Ashlyn, as mentioned, didn't need to be involved in this at all. What a waste. Why even interject yourself like this? And so...
What a retard.
Ashlyn also gets community noted here. Reads, even now, after knowing all the context, OP Ashlyn is not calling out Cece and her bully friends for their actions, which is indicating that this is a fake apology. OP had openly sided with Cece and mocked Kingsman. OP admitted to using the controversy to milk engagement.
Yeah, this is apologizing because there's backlash, not apologizing because you actually think you did something wrong.
Revenue. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much a get wrecked situation. Like, I'm really not trying to be too rude, but like, Ashlyn, come on. It would be nice
if you weren't gonna, if you knew that they were doing some bad shit and you weren't gonna, you know, call them out, then why would you jump in the middle of it? I don't get it.
If there was like sincerely,
yeah, I do. She's retarded.
Some character development here, but that's not the vibe I get at all. And then protecting the whole account after, you know,
she was developmentally stunted.
Oh my gosh! What? By the way, quick side note: what's with that? We've seen that pretty much every person in the situation except Kingsman makes some nonsensical damage control statement and locks the comments instantly. And then take it further, now they're also just locking down their entire accounts. And then that's right, there was also that rival streamer, that woman who called me out on her Twitter account because she was mad at my video title. And she's one of the more, like, viewed female rival streamers. She calls my video title out, gets mad at that, makes a terrible point, but asks a question and locks the responses so no one can even respond to the question, clearly also indicating bad faith. And that's another example of, like, just locking the comments instantly. And then when I respond via quote tweet, then she deletes the whole thing. It's just so much unhinged behavior from this group. Oh, great. There's more.
I love it.
Forgot about this one.
I love it so much.
Ashlyn then added this. Hi again. I'm going to be stepping away from Twitter.
Okay.
Oh, man. I got to read this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be stepping away from Twitter for a while. I believe the only way to genuinely become a better person is through actions and self-reflection. This will be my main focus. My anger is healthy. No, I'm kidding. Okay. I'm a flawed individual. That was a Mantis quote, by the way, for the people that don't play Rivals. Explaining the joke ruins it, but like not all my viewers play Rivals, so I had to explain it. Anyways, I'm a flawed individual, Ashlyn says, who has made many mistakes, and I'm truly sorry to those who I've hurt in the past and present. If I've hurt you and you'd like to talk privately, please reach out to me. I want to do better, and I fully intend to show it through my actions.
Once again, still has not called out CC.
And so then lastly, we have this person, Sen Aramor.
I feel like I'm going insane. The pattern recognition is off the charts. You got the streak in the hair, and you got the bio, and you got the Canadian flag, which is somehow worse than all the rest of it.
Who claims to be a pro strategist player, 10 times Marvel Rivals tournament winner. And this whole situation, similarly to Ashlyn, didn't involve Sen, but Sen decided to get involved. And it didn't go well. This next part gets a little bit confusing, so if you're confused, don't worry. It is a bit confusing putting this all together. It begins with Sen trying to defend Ashlyn in a tweet that Sen deleted after getting backlash.
Just okay. All right.
This one right here that says this post is unavailable. But you can see this user who got 5,500 likes called Sen out. You can see the remainder of the link right there. And they say to Sen, who was defending Ashlyn, your friend Ashlyn that publicly raves about you literally said she's pulling a PR stunt. She's been nasty to people in the past, lying, defaming, and all that just to get attention. There is a time when you should defend your friends and a time where you should say, yeah, you messed up. And then another user chimes in saying that Sen has now deleted that tweet and is trying to backtrack everything, saying that community notes shouldn't count. Oh, that's great, huh? Great take. Oh, those community notes are a problem. How dare you post facts and evidence? We can't have that. When there's proof showing why the post got community noted. She wrote,
no, community notes made me feel bad in front of all of these people and called me out for being a piece of shit and told me I was lying and wrong.
A book for an
I don't
apology.
like that.
There is more paragraphs.
It's not fair.
Sadly. And yeah, the order of events is like this, just to recap really quick. Ashlyn makes a bunch of tweets, gets a bunch of backlash. For whatever reason, Sen Aramori decides to interject herself into the situation, trying to defend Ashlyn. That doesn't go well. Ashlyn deletes the tweet. Excuse me. Ashlyn did delete tweets, but I meant to say Sen deletes the tweet defending Ashlyn and then writes a 10-paragraph apology post. Here's the post. You can see how long this is. It is a literal wall of text. One big point of contention in her apology post is, as mentioned, the part where she says, quote, I just didn't think it's fair that community notes should tell the reader that this post for sure is fake and bad, unquote. This user saying, the notes were saying that because they have proof of it being fake and bad. Sen Aramori says, fair. I think at the end of the day, I'm just some lady who plays games. I like to speak on things I'm educated on and feel passionately about. But when it comes to drama like this, I feel uninformed and out of my depth. Why did you even get involved? This is similar to Ashley. It's like, what? These people...
Because she's retarded and just wanted to get involved.
People weren't even involved. They decided to get involved, get backlash, then play victim. The responses have a lot of people calling...
Oh, fuck! I cast confusion and I hurt myself.
Sen out for, as mentioned, getting mad at community notes. And other people also saying stuff like, if you're going to weigh in into drama in the Rivals community, don't have double standards, call stuff out equally. And that's specifically about something she did to a Rival streamer called Necros, who's one of the top streamers. Similarly, this one saying, I mean, you called out Necros about the joke and tell people how to feel, so what's your point, hypocrite? The context to that is about a month ago, Necros got backlash for a Twitch title that he made that was supposed to be a joke, as that person mentions. And Sen was very quick to call out Necros publicly on Twitter. And so a lot of people viewed Sen as a hypocrite for calling Necros out essentially instantly. But in terms of this situation where women wronged Kingsman, she was radio silent, and even when she finally posted anything about it, was simply defending Ashlyn's take. And so people were, as you can probably tell and see, making the point that it came off like Sen would defend women, but be very quick to hate on men. In particular,
there's an awful lot of that on X. Just a whole bunch of men haters.
As well, because we've seen CC
bunch of Casey Tron lookalikes
posting numerous comments over the years about how much he hates men and finds them disgusting. So when Sen is getting involved and calling Necros out, who's a dude, really quick, but then not calling out what these women did to Kingsman, it painted a bad picture. It painted a pretty bad picture. And so that's what people are getting at when they're calling her a hypocrite and mentioning the necro stuff. I'm not going to read Sen's entire wall of text. It would take like another 10 to 15 minutes just to read that. If you want to read the full thing, it's on her Twitter account, but I will.
I wonder where a lot of these people are going to be in like 20 years. The people that only have careers because they're dumb and pretty, where are they going to be when they're no longer pretty and they're just old and dumb? It's going to be a really weird thing that's going to happen in 20 years. A bunch of these streamers are going to fall off. What's going to happen? Because a bunch of them won't be able to like hold on being streamers. They're just going to have to get regular jobs. I mean, a lot of them obviously have made so much money that they're never going to have to work again. But they're like these people. What's going to happen to them, you think? I can't wait to see.
Read the last part. She says, I'm glad.
Maybe they'll be where I'm at, but miserable about it.
Kingsman is getting the recognition he deserves. It's hard making it in the content creator world, and even being a rank 1 player guarantees you nothing. It makes me very happy to see a good player be valued in that way. Thank you for reading. Again, I apologize for my inaction. It won't happen again. And as always, of course, come to your own conclusion about that statement. And I'll leave it there. I kind of speed ran this last part because, again, there's some context missing, deleted tweet that I don't have the screenshot of that one, unfortunately, in a wall of text and everything. So, you know, tried to cover it while being thorough yet very brief, as much as I could at least. And that's really it. Let me know what you think about the whole situation from the beginning regarding the CC updates, to the Bassam updates, to the Ashland updates, and ultimately at the end here, the Sen Aramori update.
Yeah, hopefully this is the last update we get about all this, except for maybe to come out to say, well, it's all over. We're not talking about this drama anymore, or maybe we just don't talk about it. Hopefully this is the last time. We can move on to something else. Or some real crazy shit happens. But some real crazy shit did happen. So, Twitch has banned streamer Hassan Piker for his comments on ice tracking Alex Peretti. 2 senior national security officials tell me there are more than a dozen secret watch lists that Homeland Security is using to track protesters, both anti-ICE and pro-Palestinians. This is another big suck my dick to all the... Okay, well, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, but you can read what that says. I'm not going to play that clip. I'm definitely going to get banned from YouTube if I do that. So, or Twitch, or both. So no thanks. But you can see that. You can find the clip for yourself. But I can watch this clip.
No, no way. Yes! Oh my god! Oh, cuff him.
Dude, that was my reaction when I opened up X.
Oh my god.
Go to the stream.
Oh my god. I know. I'm gonna look. Oh my god. Stop. Cuff him. There is no way. Cuff him. I'm gonna celebrate. No,
go to the streamer band. Fearbo might be getting his check.
Yes! Fuck yes!
Is that real?
You fucking dog abuser! You hate America! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Move the child.
That's about how I feel about it. You know, I don't agree with him being banned for what he said, but also, I can't find it in my heart to care.
China. Bye!
Fuck around and find out.
Fact check!
Streamer bans.
Hold on, chat!
Fact check, hold on.
Hold on!
I hear it's for 7 days. I doubt it's going to be 7 days. I think he'll probably be back on Monday.
Yes! I'm smoking on Hassan!
Will you bang it? Will you... Oh, shit! LOL!
Hassan.
We did get him. We did get him.
Hassan. Yes, I'm fucking smoking on you.
We did get
you fucking suck. I always knew there was something weird about you, bro. Stop abusing Kaya, and this wouldn't happen.
I guess Peter officially stepped in.
Right on. What else we got going? Oh, Brandon Buckingham's alive. I'm going to have to share that and quote it. This made my year. It really has. This is going to change my whole year. Just the fact that I've got Brandon. I was like active with his tweets. I was actively watching almost all of his videos for a long time. I didn't watch all of them, but I skipped a bunch of them. I'm going to have to go back and watch a bunch of them. So yeah, I'm glad he's back. What else we got? What else we got? Addictions and substance abuse in the U.S. Does that mean they're gonna legalize marijuana? Because substance abuse goes down whenever you legalize marijuana. Well, at least it did in my area a lot. We still got some stragglers. We still got some meth heads every once in a while, but mostly everybody's just smoking pot. And there used to be all kinds of drugs everywhere. We had a huge pill problem. Is there anything good happening on X? What is this? It's official. Tim Wall's political career is over. Will never run for elected office again. Okay. I like the sound of that. Why isn't he in jail, though? Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna have to undo that. What did I just do right there? Okay.
One of the things is I have no political consideration, will never run for an elected office again.
Never again.
Never again. And I will just do the work.
I hope he has a podcast and he spills the beans on everybody. That'd be awesome.
And what I found is, again, I'm going to say this. There's here.
I kind of feel bad for him in a way. I don't feel bad for him at all. But I feel bad for him in the way that he's the one who got all this heat for fraud. When he is right, it's all over the country. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one in Minnesota. And Minnesota's not the only state.
Heroes on the streets that we don't know their names. They're never going to run for office. And those grass-top leaders brought this administration to their knees this week to do something about it. So there's other ways to serve. And
that's okay. That's a way to say that you're basically just going to do nothing. Probably be a criminal. He'll probably just be a white-collar criminal. Got some notifications. Ooh, ass hair followed me. Hell yeah. I'll follow you back, ass hair. Hair ass. Go to my page. What do I got? What did I like today? I liked a lot of shit. Oh yeah, this was the one that I was referring to.
This fraud thing happens in every state. We had it here. I take responsibility for it. No one in state government had anything to do with it, but people stole from us. You got to stop that. We're working hand in hand with the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's gone now. I don't even know who over there is working on fraud. And we got folks, you come in here.
Nobody.
That U.S. Attorney sat right here, and I said, there's two.
I guarantee you the people who are working on fraud are committing fraud.
People that want to fix this more than anybody in this state, me and you. What do you need from me? This fraud thing happens in every.
We need everything. We need all your money. This is a lovely video.
What up? I'm Bam Margera here with Ricky in Inglewood, Florida, and today we're going to find out what kind of skate tricks he can do. So, you got an ollie?
No.
Pop shove it? Kick flip?
No.
Nollie flip?
No.
Tray flip?
No.
Switch tray flip?
No.
Igloo plant to
Gonna have
fake
to
it?
train him.
No.
Switch dance dog sled?
No.
Eskimo fucking pie to revert?
No.
Where's Danny Duncan? We're going to make you do a kick flip. 1, 2, go.
Hell yeah.
Oh! Yeah! Ricky! I'm doing it! You have now earned the name Tony Hawkins. What up? I'm Bam Margera.
Missed that the first time. Tony Hawkins. All right. Don't mess with the rednecks.
All right, let's get two things straight. Number one, we own the hood. Y'all just run it. Number two, you think you gonna beat a redneck in a shootout? Motherfucker, we blow shit up for fun. Pluck ducks out of midair, bitch. We're popping squirrels out of trees.
I've been one of those people.
Running. What do we do when we're bored? Oh, we go outside and target practice. You know how many scenarios a redneck's run through his mind for somebody busting his fucking
Oh man, I'm just waiting for it to happen.
house? That man said if he come from the front door, I'm gonna be in a prone position on the couch with a sniper rifle. And that's indoors. And I'm gonna have my wife down the hallway with an AR-15 ready to drop your ass with a 30-round mag. Both my kids are gonna be in the goddamn closet with shotguns. My daughter's gonna have a Glock though. Like y'all motherfuckers shoot like this and can't hit a broadside of a barn. Get the fuck out of here. And I've seen a lot of Trumpsters invade the city this year. I ain't seen one hood motherfucker in the country. Dumbass.
Can confirm this is what it's like, and the black people who live there fucking love it. Safest place to be amongst the rednecks. The legacy media networks are nothing but propaganda. We're in the sci-fi dystopia novel now. This shit's insane.
Did you see what MSNBC did to his image?
I did.
Yeah. Where they gussied
Basically
it up.
did the opposite of what CNN did to me. You know, CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome.
Yeah.
So people would be more sympathetic to him getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to
Yes, to marketing.
MSNBC?
Less marketable?
Yeah, right,
That
yeah.
is
Okay.
crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like.
Yep.
They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah, they stuck his ears out a little bit.
Yeah.
A little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they don't want to make him look too Jewy.
They shrunk his nose,
Yeah.
gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
They even
American...
made him, if you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there.
I think they used AI for this, actually. I don't even think they really put work into editing it. I think they were just like, make him look better.
A little bit. Yeah, the one on the right looks like he's a little plump.
Yeah, it's like a touch-up for a school photo where they fucked up and made it kind of not look like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed the tone of the color. Wild. I mean, they changed his fucking teeth, man.
Communist News
Look,
Network.
they gave him veneers.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in his teeth.
Yeah,
He's
seen it
a
up close. Like, yeah. What
Much
the
more
fuck?
handsome guy. Like that one on the right is like the handsome brother.
Cleaner beard.
And the one on the left is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I look like
Yeah, the
my
one on the
goddamn
right-
brother?
yeah,
Yeah, he looks like they look like they were twins, but he died almost when he was a kid.
One on the right,
When they were kids.
they were twins, and he took more of the protein.
Or that,
That
yeah.
was what happened.
I feel like me and him are on the same wavelength a lot of times. Greg Bovino rallying his men in Los Angeles during the riots has resurfaced or surfaced.
That touch you as you want to. Those are the general orders all the way to the top. Everybody fucking gets it if they touch you. You hear what I'm saying? Less lethals. We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of that shit.
Less lethal means that they are less than lethal. They can still be lethal.
Shit in here. So you catch what it's all about us now. It ain't about them. Professional, legal, ethical, and moral. You know what we're talking about. Legal, ethical, moral. You're on camera. But other than that, it's what we do. What city is it, G? Fucking ours. This is our fucking city.
Yep. It's their fucking city.
Arrest.
What are you going to do about it? So Trump posted this.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness
Preach,
and
sister.
signature calm composure. Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of...
Yeah. Wonderful narrator. No wonder she's in office, and she tricked people into stealing money from Native Americans so she could go to college, even though she was rich. Good people. Good people.
Pick that damn cotton candy, you dirty snicker. Pick it now, damn it. I need that cotton candy now. Disobey me one more time and no more watermelon. No! Don't make me take away your fried chicken, you stupid snick. Oh.
Whoa!
Fucking Snickers. The white man shall harm you no longer, chocolate friend. Thank you. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Maybe you could stop stealing our corn and get a job, dirty snicker. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna get some goddamn food stamps in this bitch.
You little white mother.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was a thing. All right. I think that's where I'm going to end the stream. That was a good place to end it, wasn't it? You should definitely join the Discord. I got a link down there in the description. And I love you. Good night.